Our next voter arriving is Edward Darby. Greet him by saying, "Good morning. May I please have your reason for paper ballot slip?" Confirm that the slip has provisional written across the top and voting method says paper at the bottom. Place the RFPB into the RFPB envelope. Next, go over the steps to complete the provisional ballot affirmation side of the provisional envelope. Once Edward has completed the envelope, carefully check for legibility and completeness. You will notice that Edward did not mark any form of identification in Section 5. Say to him, "Mr. Darby, I notice that you've not marked any form of identification. You will need to select one of the options listed. Did you notice we can accept a number of alternate non-photo forms of identification? Let me show you a variety of non-photo identification items that can be used." Mr. Darby responds, he has none of those items to use as his identification. Can he still vote today? Yes, however, he will be required to provide valid identification to the Franklin County Board of Election within 7 days from today for his ballot to be counted. Give him more information on this before he leaves today. Your next step is to find the correct ballot for Mr. Darby. Use the yellow street guide to look up his address, 1337 Ashland Avenue, Columbus. Fill in his precinct ID, Grandview, B02, ballot style 200 at the bottom of the envelope. You, the PEO, must then print your name and date the envelope as well. Next, carefully tear one ballot from the pad and place an X in the checkbox in the upper left corner to ensure that the ballot cannot be read by the ballot counter. Place a tick mark in the appropriate ongoing count box of the pre-printed ballot reconciliation sheet. You will find this sheet in the PBJ workbook. You will also need to note in the problems and correction page to indicate that you had a voter with no ID. Now, hand the ballot and the envelope to your paper ballot captain. The captain will also look to see that there's an X in the upper left-hand corner of the ballot. The captain will use the electronic poll book to look up Edward Darby's address and ensure that Grandview B02 ballot style 200 is his correct ballot. From the electronic poll book screen, select Menu, then press Precinct Finder. Using the information from the provisional envelope, type in the full house number. In this case, it is 1337. Next, move the cursor to Street Name box and type in the first 3 letters of the street name. In this case, ASH. Immediately, a drop-down menu appears with choices. Click on the correct street name, Ashland Avenue. Then touch Search. The precinct ID and ballot style will appear. Using the information on the screen, confirm that the correct paper ballot for the listed address was issued to the voter. You may now touch Clear since you have completed the search for that voter's address. Before returning the ballot and envelope to the PBJ, the captain will place the provisional envelope template over the envelope to ensure that all required information has been filled in on the envelope. The captain will then return the ballot and envelope to the paper ballot judge. Before you can hand the ballot and envelope to the voter, you must get the provisional regular voter ballot issued log form from the paper ballot judge's workbook and record all appropriate information marking the voter as provisional. Now, hand the ballot, envelope, and important instructions to Edward and direct him to the provisional voting booth. Once Edward has finished voting and returns to your table, make sure that he has placed his ballot in the provisional envelope and sealed it. Point to the bag or hold the bag up so that he can place his ballot directly into the voted bag. Next, hand Edward a copy of the provisional ballot notice and remind him, "Mr. Darby, you are required to take a valid identification to the Franklin County Board of Election within 7 days. Here, I have circled the information on your provisional ballot notice. Thank you for coming in today to vote. Here is your voted sticker."